Hi, friends. It's Tim Schrock at Design Build Solutions. We've been talking a bit recently about macros, and I want to give you some ideas on how to do this. First of all, I've got a foundation room set up, and I've dropped a text in here, and I've entered this information, percent object underscore properties percent. You can find this in the macro here under user defined. All the gray ones are not available really for this area, but we can drop in object properties, and that's what does this automatically. So you don't have to remember this. Just go to the macro, user defined, and you'll find object properties is a dark black. Click on that and it'll drop that in there. What this does is it lists all of the variables connected to this object. Now you can drop this as a text within a room. You can do this within a label as well. Oftentimes I find myself drawing this. It's a very long list, as you can see, for this room. If I bring it out here, this external room doesn't have very much. I could also make an arrow, say point to a door, window, electrical outlet, cabinet, polyline, roof, you name it, wall, and here's this information. Is it an attic wall? No, it's not. It's false. Is it invisible? False. We could turn it to invisible. And look, it's true. Change it back to false. It gives you everything, layers, line sets. Do you want to go through all of the options of this and find out which variable you want to find? No. Let me delete this arrow, drag this back into the room. I'm looking for the area of this room. I don't want to go through all of these options and see what variable is available to grab with a macro. So I'm going to delete this, and I suggest using Rene Rabbitt's macro called Rab's macro search. I click this and drop it in the room, and this is what comes up. By default, it's searching for material. In the room, there are several variables that include the word material, and they are this one, cantilever underscore underside underscore material, ceiling underscore platform underscore layers dot material dot data, etc., etc. That's not what I want. By the way, you can search for multiple variables, material and area. And now we find material, area, material, etc. I want to find some variables that have the word area in it. In this room, surely there's got to be some variables with the word area. What do you know? There's ceiling insulation area, ceiling platform layers, ceiling thermal envelope area, floor insulation area, and right down here is internal area and standard area. That's beautiful because that means I can enter a macro with room.standard underscore area and get this 459 square feet back. I'm just going to paste it right in here. And notice, crawl area, 459 square feet. 441 NFVA required, crawl ventilation. Minimum 9 8x16 foundation vents. How did I do this? It's a text box. Crawl area is my text. You don't have to create macros that are highfalutin and go through the macro here and figure out all this stuff. We can just do some basic calculations. Look, parentheses. I could do here. So let me kind of back up. Remember, room standard area we found right here in Rene Rabbitt's macro search. Room.standard underscore area. There's my room.standard underscore area. I put this in parentheses and add a dot ceil, C-E-I-L, meaning ceiling. That rounds up. So if there's a 459.2 square feet, it rounds it up. Okay. Got to put everything that is macro pulling data from the box, from the model, in parentheses. So parentheses, in percent signs, in between percent signs. percent parentheses room dot standard underscore area end parentheses dot seal end percent sign. And now we're back into text, SF. And then I do some calculations on room standard area, divide by 150, because we need the total area of that crawl space divided by 150 to get the square feet of ventilation space needed. Times, which is this asterisk, that's times in Ruby, 144. So square feet is this side times 144, because we've got 144 square inches per square foot. And then we do a seal again. So I don't want to see, what could it, well, let's take the seal out and see what that would have been. I don't want to see necessarily 440.64 NFVA. So I'm just going to add the dot seal, or I could, if I wanted, I don't want to see 0.64596723. Okay. So I could say, instead of sealing, I could say dot round 2 decimal places. Okay. And after the percent, we've got our regular text again, NFVA required crawl ventilation. There's my round 2. Okay, let's say round 1. One space, 440.6 square feet. Okay, NFVA would be, maybe I put square inches. 440.6 square inches NFVA required crawl ventilation. Now, how do I figure out 9? Well, I know that I've got my room standard area divided by 150 times 144, that's square inches, and there's 50 square inches per 8x16 foundation vent. Now I have to put dot seal, because I can't have 8.5 foundation vents, right? Let's take this dot seal out, and you'll see what happens. I need 8.8128 foundation vents. I don't need that. So that's where we do dot CEIL. So I need a minimum of this calculation. And out of the percent sign, we've got comma 8x16 foundation vents. We can delete this search because we know what the variable is that we need. And look, if I move this over, that area changed to 688 square feet. And now we need 14 foundation vents. If you want to put a note on here, contractor to verify ventilation meets required code, IRC, whatever number, I don't remember what the number is, 608, so something. Anyway, you could do that, right? Now, do you want to do this every time you have a crawl space? No, right? The beautiful thing is you could say, I'm going to make my crawl space here and make this a full basement, right? There we go. Now we've got a crawl space just here. If this doesn't do any fancy calculation going, hey, this isn't crawl space or not. If you put this text in a full basement, that's on you. You could put it in in first floor above grade. If you put this above grade, don't blame the macro. It just pulls room area and puts that in the runs it through the calculation. So let's go back to repeating this. Grab that text, add it to your macro, add it to your library, and there's rich text, so we give it a name. Let's say foundation vent note. So now every time we have foundation vent note, I grab that, drop it in there. I don't have to think about it anymore. I hope this is helpful. I'm having a lot of fun. Now, before I go on, this is text still. You can change it. You can update it. You can make changes to it, or let's say instead of this, you say, okay, I found something that's 75 square inches, and that's this certain type of foundation vent, uh, powered foundation vent. Or you could say, screw it, I don't want to do this. I'm going to delete that and just contract this many square inches is required. Contractor to verify ventilation meets required code. Done. All right, but you don't have to. You can just drop it from your thing here, from your library, and add or delete whatever you want. I'm having a lot of fun playing with these macros. I hope you're learning a lot. If you like this, click like and subscribe. If you find this valuable, hit me up with a small donation, paypal.me/designbuildsolutions. I appreciate it. Take care. Have a great week.